Hi there, welcome back. Today we're just going to be going through the very basics of Rev Slayer, tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4. However, tier 5 will take a few months to do just because, it's much more difficult. One other thing before we get into the video, myself and Mr. Random are going to be making our dungeon guides very soon, and we're actually thinking of live streaming those. So if you want to catch it live, the recording process, and us just doing some dungeon shenanigans, then maybe hit the notification bell, subscribe, get notified of when I'm going live. Anyway, do the video now. First up is tier 1 Revenant Horror, which has around 500 health and does like 10 damage. It is really weak. It shouldn't even be called a boss. And the only real, I think, way to fail this would be spawning in the village, which is just this opening segment of the graveyard, because when you bring a boss to the village, it will despawn. Next thing, you will want the Undead Sword. It can be purchased for 100 coins at the Weaponsmith. And pretty much any armor. You could be a pumpkin, a leaf, some lapis, maybe diamond or iron, even a cactus, I don't care. Any of those will work, it doesn't really matter. The first thing we're going to want for tier 2s is a Wand of Healing. It's 16 Revenant Flesh and a stick. Next, we're going to want to upgrade our armor to Glaciite Armor. It's roughly 50,000 coins per piece, or you can grind it yourself in the Dwarven Mines at the Ice Wall. The reason we're using Glaciite Armor is because its defense is doubled on mining islands. So that's why we're going to be spawning our boss in the deep caverns in the Obsidian area. Because Glaciite Armor gives us an absolutely disgusting amount of defense, we basically don't have to worry about this, so we'll do like 5 damage a hit. However, when you have your back to a wall, like I do now, the Revenant Horror will use its throw attack much more often, which actually can deal damage. Other than that, you also probably don't want to get yourself knocked into lava like 4 times, and instead probably try and get the actual boss in lava, because then it can't really run around. But all in all, it's a pretty simple boss. Sometimes people will just start smacking it with you. Nothing much to say. For the melee build, we're going to be upgrading to full Ender Armor and equipment, which is obtained on the End Island. You need combat level 12, and you can just do the Lone Adventures questline. It'll help explain a lot of it. We're also going to be putting Heroic on the sword, just because we want around 220 to 230 mana, just so we can use our Wand of Healing more. However, it will work if you just put like Wise on a piece of armor, which probably would have been better. Next, we're also going to be going to the corner of the graveyard, which is where the crypts are. The zombies there give like 30-ish combat XP and also have around 2,000 health. Sometimes if you don't crit, you may actually need to do 2 hits, but it's not really that bad. For this boss, you want to basically be constantly using your Wand of Healing, as it's going to do a lot of damage. I usually use it around my halfway health mark. Or if it throws me. In order to stop it from throwing you and doing that attack, you want to try and actually not get stuck on a wall to just get more hits in. When it's enraged or red, it will also do much more damage, so you want to be healing constantly through that. Now, all in all, the melee build for this, it's very cheap. It does work, but it also took me around 2.5 minutes to complete this boss, so I'd recommend the Mage build. The first thing we're going to get for our Mage build is our weapon, which is going to be the Aurora Staff. It has like a 1-second cooldown and 10 mana cost, which is just absolutely absurd. It should definitely have a requirement, but it doesn't. We're also going to be trying to get Heroic on it, which shouldn't take long. And we're also going to be using the Glaciite Armor we used back for tier 2, and we're going to be reforging it to Wise. This is mostly just because it gives us good defense, and it also is epic, so the reforge of Wise will be much stronger. The boss fight is definitely much simpler, as you're just going to be running around trying to hit it. It does take a while to get used to the Aurora Staff, however it's not too bad. Now if you were to get yourself caught in a wall, it'd be much easier to actually hit, but you also just want to be healing through the boss, it's not that bad. The tier 4 build is incredibly similar. We're just going to be making our way to the Catacombs entrance, which is deep in the coal mine, and buying Dark Goggles from Ophelia. They're 80,000 coins, and give 25 ability damage and 150 intelligence, which is just absurd for how easily you can obtain the item. We're also just going to be getting Wise on it. Sadly, we are going to have to be enchanting our armor this time. We're going to be wanting just Growth 5 and Protection 5. One important thing is as your enchanting level goes up, you'll gain more ability damage and intelligence, so you do want to increase that just to get some faster kill times. This is also unnecessary, but I'm doing it just because I can. I'm just going to be buying a sheep. However, something that's aren't unnecessary is something like the zombie ring. It's 1 zombie talisman and then a stack of Revenant flesh. This costs about 3,000 coins and it's about a 50k flip. I also got a Wand of Mending, which is around 100k, and it's just going to improve our healing wand, which is very much needed. The strategy for the tier 4 boss is very similar to tier 3, where you'll mostly just want to be trying to get as many hits in as possible. However, the tier 4 does a lot more damage, so you probably do not want to get stuck in a wall to get more hits in. Instead, you'd want to just kite it in a straight line in order to make your hits always land. Now, one thing that is very important about this boss is that because the Aurora Staff basically has no ability usage cost, you can spam your Wand of Healing, which will make sure you win the fights a lot more often and not get close to death. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was very helpful, and I will be covering tier 5, but it's probably going to take a few months as we're doing, progression-based tutorial. But thanks for watching. See you next time.